Dire team ban. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
Boo-ba-doo-boo-boo.
No.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Canada Cup Season 7 Digital Chaos Void Boys Game number 2. DC looking strong in Game 1. No big surprise. They are the heavy favorites, 91-9 odds on Dota 2 Lounge, living up to their expectations. I'm Zyori, joined again by Mott. Mott, what are the chances Void Boys take Game 2 here?
Not as bad as I think a lot of people might think, especially those people on D2L. I think that they played pretty well, all things considered, last game against DC. There were one or two big mistakes in the middle stages of the game, and it didn't help that their laning phase got off to a pretty abysmal start as well. So I think they just have to tighten things up, really, and play their game, and I think get back to that point where they can't kind of let 747 have such a bad start. And especially, what the hell is not a bad pick, man? Like, that's really what it comes down to for me. It's like, why are you batting? Like, out of every hero you could possibly choose, that situation, you choose a goddamn Abaddon? What?
I like it, Mott. You're turning this into a goddamn town rally. Fuck Abaddon. Fuck that guy. Get him out of here.
Pretty much. That's how I feel about that hero
me
now.
too. I don't understand why they picked it. I really like that. There are certain, again, you even mentioned it. Against a Beastmaster, it makes sense. Against big stuns and disables, it doesn't work in situations like that. It's too defensive in the lane. It allowed the Tidehunter to get so much space. He had a nice early mech. He had a lot of early experience. And it still slowed down the Beastmaster. I don't really feel like the Abaddon did that much to stop Misery
It didn't do anything.
Getting his work done. Yeah.
Well, so, like, if you go back to that game, when you look in the replay and just like, okay, he might have a Photic Shield to take off some damage. He might have miscoiled to save some people from time to time. But it's not like he accomplished anything in the offensive side of the map. Or really just, he didn't really accomplish anything in terms of map control, in terms of getting vision. There are so many other heroes that probably accomplished what he wanted to do in that situation better than what he did. And I just didn't understand it. He didn't have any initiation. He doesn't have any, he just doesn't have anything. He's in a bad. He just...
I mean, his name is Symbol of Peace. He was the pacifist that game. He lived to his name.
I guess so. Clairvoyance is just like, well, let's try it. I mean, what's the worst that could possibly... I mean, we're in the upper bracket here. We still have a lower bracket best of 3 to deal with. So
I mean, I have to say, I got faith in Void Boys this game. They have their signature Void.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they can't go wrong. And they've got the Elder Titan. There's great setup there. We've seen the power of the Earth Splitter. I am a firm believer in the Elder Titan. If you were ever not on the Elder Titan train, you're an idiot, because Elder Titan is the shit right now.
I agree with you, but I feel like somehow Void Boys are going to pick some odd, quirky, retarded hero to combine up with this draft and make it miserable. So
maybe why did DC ban out Disrupt? They took a good bit of, they took all of their opening time and like 20 seconds of their reserve time to decide to first ban the Disruptor, and I'm still I'm wondering what that means. Are they gonna like pick a wisp here or something? I mean, is Void Boys known for its disruptor play? They will take a Crystal Maiden. That's interesting.
I think it's just a strong support, and they're just like they're determining, especially now that I think they're experimenting with like, okay, what can we get away with our first bands? Because like you're going into TI, the patch probably won't change much, if at all, before TI hits, and so you're looking at the heroes that are currently very strong. And yeah, you know, Terrorblade is one of those heroes, Disruptor another, Lifestealer obviously another. Meanwhile, Void Boys take care of Riki and Darkseer, so that's not available for them. So to answer your question, Andrew, I have no fucking clue why they banned out the Disruptor in that situation.
Paging Grand Grant. I'm sure there's some weird history-specific game that he can map out that DC was upset by a Disruptor pick. Who the hell knows? The CM is pretty interesting, though. She can make some use of the jungle. All these heroes definitely benefit from that Brilliance Aura, Beastmaster, Invoker, Slark. All of them spam a lot of spells early on, so that's pretty nice. I do like this Terrorblade pickup from Void Boys, though. I have to admit, I think their lineup it's looking pretty good. They've got a little bit of everything, some good setup, some good follow-up.
It's so good. If you have meta during the Chronosphere,
somebody's dying.
And there's Natural Order going, and you have Dragon, like, yeah, there's just no way you can deal with that damage. This is like one of those games where I'm like, okay, maybe Abaddon's actually good here for DC, because it's defensive enough against, I mean, it's probably not still, but...
they better not pick Abaddon, I swear.
No, I don't think... it was kind of half a joke and half sort of serious, but... Like it's like a good defensive hero again, like a Vengeful Spirit would have been great, and they could still go for it because Mu will play the Beastmaster, and like something that has defensive capabilities against Chronosphere, and I think that's like advantage through and through if it's available.
I want to see an Earthshaker. They're not going to pick it, but I still want to see it.
God no, that hero's like
good against Faceless Void. It's good against Illusions of Terrorblade. If your name is, who was playing it a lot actually? Who Yapzor. Yapzor was playing it like a fucking animal in the EU region. Yeah, dude, it was. I'm convinced that Earthshaker is not complete dog shit. Nobody's running it. It's out of vogue, but that hero's more playable than teams give him credit for.
I think that hero's
an offlaner. But...
I think that hero is definitely annoying if you're playing against it. That's like the term I would use right now. The threat of like you actually dying, it has to come from a good Fisher and a combination of heroes. Like, whereas other heroes can get away with maybe, like, even finding a solo kill or just doing it and pumping out a lot of damage, Fisher just doesn't do as much as it used to.
Alright, you're just a hater, Mont.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I am actually a hater, too. I was like, can I really defend myself in this situation?
What do you have against Tauren, man?
I don't have anything. My first characters were torn. My first big characters were torn.
Classic, self-loathing.
Yeah, I mean... Listen, it's not a Tauren Druid, it's a Tauren something that, and I'm not a fan of
Tauren crossed with a cow, crossed with, oh god, a broodmother.
Well, that's
so
definitely throws a monkey wrench into your plans. I do think that Void Boys are kind of okay with that because they have an Oracle. And
they should have picked Abaddon. Perfect. It's a Mirana. Would have actually been a legit Abaddon. That's like one of the best heroes to play Abaddon against.
I'm telling you, that would have been a next level play for DC to get Abaddon there, and so it is a Beastmaster support.
So it must be a really greedy Beastmaster in the jungle.
Yeah.
And then CM on the hard 5 with Mu as the Broodmother in the off.
Yeah,
okay.
And this is one of those lineups that Beastmaster in the jungle you can work with because Broodmother's not going to get pushed out of lane probably. I don't think. Not against ET Faces Void Oracle.
Okay, so
it'll be tough.
It's a Snake King Void in the off lane. Pat Soul will go safe lane with the Terrorblade, and that means 747 takes the bottom mid.
Yeah, that's fine.
Go Ag Scepter, Veil, Blink, that kind of stuff. I wonder if the bottom goes Midas this.
I think you just go Ags. It's just a better way to farm. Like you have to get it if you get it quick enough. But what do I know, dude? I honestly like.
You know a lot, dude. You watch a lot of Dota.
All I can just say is that just don't pick Abaddon, and you're probably gonna have a better time than you did
You're making me feel bad. Now I need to reread that Arthas book so I can get in the head of Abaddon, really empathize with his mind.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's a nice guy. If you just spend some time to get to know him.
Was Abaddon Arthas or was Abaddon It's just a regular Deathlight in Warcraft 3. I
don't know. I think it was a bad one, but I can't
want to
quite
look up.
remember.
I want to look up Dota 1 models now. That's
I've
like my
always
favorite thing to
wanted to
do.
be Uther.
Uther?
I always thought Uther was a cool guy.
Uther's cool. Yeah, Uther's cool.
I always thought, like, you know, if I could enter the WoW universe and just be somebody, I've always dreamt of being holy. You know, I'm not a religious guy, and Uther was just, he was so fucking dedicated to the light, man. You know, he was just like that boring old guy that's just too passionate about his life's work.
Wait, who was Uther? Because I remember Omni Knight was Arthas, and
No, Uther
I
don't think he was a Dota guy. He was just,
I guess he wasn't.
Just a badass paladin with a hammer.
Uther not getting his just desserts in Dota 1, unfortunately.
Uther, I saw him. He just struck me like as that guy knows how to fuck.
Yeah, and then what? They kill him or something? I can't remember.
Damn it, Uther! You know, he's trying to talk him out of the calling of Stratholme, and Arthas is like, listen,
Well,
Pops.
yeah, they sent him home, but I think they murdered him later on, right? Or something.
I forget. I remember Arthas gets real Uther gets real upset when Arthas steals that urn that his dad is in, and then dumps him out and puts Kel'Thuzad in there. Uther's just like, Arthas, how could you? We grew up together. I threw the ball at you when you were a little child. How could you do this?
Dude, we're getting real deep into this WoW lore, and I want to keep getting deep into this WoW lore. I just want to make sure nothing happens to the Bruin spots first.
What's going on here? Moo, he's going to try to sneak the bottom one.
They have sentries for Schwann, and Fortune's End could go very quick into an arrow.
They've got dust, too.
Easy, almost steal. They get both of them. They got both of them on the side of Void Boys. That's huge, and we all took a lot of damage. So already Void Boys getting up to a much better start than they did last game, and we'll see how things continue. Although, so the main job of Clairvoyance this game as the Elder Titan, as much as it was for the Earth Spirit last game for Misery, is to run at the opposing juggler and make sure he doesn't have a good time. And so Misery already having to spend, although the creep camps haven't spawned yet, he's having to spend some extra time harassing and making sure the Elder Titan is not going to enter the jungle that easily.
Yeah,
you can see it again.
He's going to give him a taste of his own medicine. It's exactly what happened last game, except the roles are reversed. Clairvoyance does go for a similar build, though. Wind Lace at level 1 with some regen, so just going to go for mobility. Really interesting to see him go Astral Spirit level 1. We've seen most Elder Titans almost exclusively go Echo Stomp at level 1. We've talked about it quite a few times now, but the mechanic with the Spirit, it does way more than 85 damage at level 1 because of it counts the Spirit on top of the Titan. Exactly. So that's one of those spells at level 1 that you can get a little bit of extra value out of. Interesting to see Clairvoyance go for the kind of the scouting tool here.
That was awkward. I don't know why. She's like right next to the Beastmaster, and he just misses his Astral Spirit. I do want to get back to Uther's death, but we're gonna hold that thought because it looks like there's a wrap coming in from Clairvoyance onto Weehaw. I don't know if they have enough damage. They would have to
stable him.
They don't have an arrow, sadly, to use. The 747 went for Starstorm into Leap, which is a bit awkward. However,
that is a really weird opening build, not having any point in Sacred Arrow. I guess potentially nervous of a rotation from the Crystal Maiden, but
listen, I have no idea.
I mean, it's like Starstorm not really known for its level 1 value point, you know?
How did Move find that sentry? There's like a sentry placed in... Oh, and they missed the dust. Oh my god, Patzel popped his meta for pretty much nothing. That's really bad. And Moo's gonna walk and run into Schwann right now and get off like 2 right clicks, and that's about it. So yeah, there's a ward placed in this, like, there's a tree here over, I'm gonna ping it. It's like right there. And he put it right in that tree, and Moose somehow understood where that sentry was. I didn't see the battle, but he was able to knock the tree down and kill the sentry with about 3 right clicks. So good for Moo to get that sentry out of the lane. They should have another one. Schwann, in fact, has another one and another dust. But Metamorphosis is ascending, so they can't get the kill.
How's my man Snake King doing? I know he's been hitting the gym, farming pretty well up here in the off lane. 5 and 2, level 3 on the Void.
Nah, that's not bad at all for a Void in this situation.
He's having a pretty good start. Oh my god, Snake King. Master Void player. Look at that. 73% win rate, 19 games. Hello, Snake King.
He is the king. That's a good sign for him.
Yeah, that's a little stat. How's this jungle madness going?
Oh my god, Misery.
Connects with a sleep, almost kills Misery. Elder Titan pretty effective at this stage, honestly. He's intercepted quite a bit. He's hit level 2. At the very least, this is annoying. I don't know how game-breaking this is for Misery, but it's a headache.
I think if you look at the HP there, I think that just kind of tells the story. Misery had to figure out an extra sal for him, which you kind of are used to doing, I think, in the Jungle Beastmaster in certain circumstances, but it's definitely not the best thing in the world for him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, he's sitting now 75% HP, and here comes Clear again. This time he's got Illusion, so Misery's like, I can't, I'm not down to F with this right now. And he's going to have to back up and kind of head over to the lane, which at this point is going pretty well for both offlaners. Snakey level 4, Moo should also be level 4. They're same experience, same CS, surprisingly enough, and that's more of a good sign, I think, for Void Boys than anything else, because there's actually more CS going the way of the Terrorblade, but also I think a lot of that has to do with, of course, there is Broodmother Broodlings, so
Yeah,
Rise field on
absolutely. Those little Broodlings do buff up the last hit chart just a bit. But also a little bit of extra farm to the Terrorblade. I think he's pretty happy. Mid, yeah, they're going to rotate in. Fortune's End, almost there. They've got the dust, and it's still a kill. First blood drawn by Juan. He had an Arcane Rune as well, so a nice easy commitment there. And much needed first blood. 747 gets a little bit low, but yeah, that was a close one. That Starstorm looked like it was going to connect, but he got the Ghostwalk off just in time.
Yeah, that was perfect timing from Weehaw, but he's still not able to survive because they did have the dust and they did have... It's a great thing about Fortune's End. It's a really good early game nuke. Snaking going to work on Soxa. He's going to have to get a bash, and he will find a bash and some good right-click time walks the rest of that damage. South comes out, though, so Soxa might be able to survive here. The Pounce comes out, and Claire will secure the kill, but it's going to be a 1-for-1 exchange that does not favor the Void. He'll try to take down. He'll be able to do so just barely. The Dark Pact almost did enough damage to bring him down. Meanwhile, bottom lane, they get off the Fate's Edict, rather Purifying Flames on top of Patzel's right-click with Metamorphosis. And of course, they had the dust up to secure the kill. So, Void Boys, the most unfortunate thing in that situation is they do lose staking to nothing pretty much. He didn't get anything out of it, but some really good trades otherwise going across the map. And then he gets Sunstruck bottom, which probably shouldn't happen.
That was a pretty good trade just in general, 1-for-1 until that happened. Now Weehaw gets the little bump Invoker mid lane. This is really the make it or break it for Exort Invokers. Do you get Sunstrike kills in the early game or do you not? And when you're able to find those kills, it just increases your rate of farm so much. And of course with Invoker, the faster you get the Midas, the faster you level up, get more farm and get that snowball rolling. So all things considered now, this mid lane, even Weehaw dying so early on, should be more than enough to recover. And we look at net worth, he's almost caught up to the Mirana. Still a couple hundred behind. Snake King set up pawn, no time walk for a couple. Do they have the damage?
Good Fairy Fire
keeps him alive. Sunstrike falls short, and the one true king lives to tell the tale.
He was inches away from a death there with that Sunstrike, and Weehaw's just like, damn, if I was just on the mark. But now there's Dust Bottom. Fortune's End's gonna go through. Moo's been caught. There are plenty of Broodlings. It's so hard to bring down. And Schwan might die to them if he's not careful. The Stomp comes through and Moo avoids it. They really want these Broodlings. Schwan's healing up with the Purifying Flames, but it's just not going to be enough. They have no clear, no wave clear, no Battle Fury, no cleave, no... They have to stomp here to get these Broodlings killing.
That's pretty unfortunate there, Mott. This Broodmother is taking over. Snake King, he's doing all right in the off lane, but now Broodmother is dominating. He's found 2 kills, was able to trade last time when he was ganked. Soul Ring, Phase Boots, I mean, Moo, they don't really have an answer for it. I mean, I guess you've got Chronosphere, that's sort of an answer, but not quite. Resolution up top, Echo Stomp gets the kill. Also sets up onto the Crystal Maiden. Kills happening over the map here. Oh, what a bash from Snake King. Makes it super easy as Juan comes in and secures the kill.
Weehaw died solo to Mirana? He must have.
That one.
I didn't see either. Because you don't expect that to happen. He must have hit an arrow. It's max Starstorm, or at least level 3 Starstorm at that point. So
an arrow with the double star is probably the only way he gets a kill there.
And that is a lot of damage with level 3/4 Starstorm, and it gets to squish your Invoker. So it's just a bit of an unfortunate thing for Weehaw to have happen against him. And now Staking back top again, but there's the Found Dark Pack Staking. Fate's Edict, Purifying Flames. There's not enough damage or not enough field grab to come through. Swan, they've stayed too long. Sunstrike on top, not needed. Resolution finds himself another auto attack to get the kill. And that should be the end of it. It's a very aggressive early game. 12 kills, 7 minutes in. There's, I think, probably more kills than real farm happening. Is the highest, again, well, Patzel does the 50 last hits, and that's pretty good, but this is a nuts early game.
Yeah, I mean, both carries are farming pretty well, but all things considered, it has been action-packed. 6-6 at the 8-minute mark. We're just about zeroed out. All of this killing has resulted in just about a break even, though I am a little nervous for Void Boys. I think DC have a little bit more straightforward plan of attack. We'll see a rotation from 747 into the jungle and catch the Beastmaster. They head back mid lane, snaking. Time walks to the high ground. Okay. But I'm really most afraid of this this Broodmother. I mean, Moo now is just free reign to the jungle. He's taking out the tier 1 tower. It opens up the map, and now he can start moving into neutrals. Not only does that accelerate his farm, but it also limits areas for Void Boys to farm. So I think as this goes on, if it stays in kind of a similar state, DC will start to find better margins and just pull ahead because of the Brood effect.
I keep forgetting what the actual, like, change to Starstorm, like how the numbers work out with Starstorm, and it's like an 8-second cooldown or something like that with Ags. I can't.
Yeah.
It's like it's the scepter interval's 8. I can't remember exactly what that means, but that's the counter, I think, to the Brood.
Yeah, every 8 seconds, Starstorm comes, and then you have another one off cooldown. So if you catch him and he's the closest target, you can hit him with effectively 3 stars back to back. You get the 2 Starstorms and then the 2 50% stars, or well, it's 75%.
And like, if you hit everything in radius, if you have the Ags, like if you all the Broodlings are there, do you hit all of them with the?
Yeah,
the
it triggers basically. You have like this really short window where it triggers if you blink in once it kind of detects a unit around you. So sometimes you can get that unfortunate thing where you walk too close to something and it just does a Starstorm on one hero or one unit. So that's why the blink dagger is often picked up after the Ag, so you can blink right in and get the guaranteed stars on like everything in the area.
Okay, cool.
It's a fairly small area around. Well, it's medium. You know, it's not huge, but it's not tiny either.
I gotcha. I do want to point out that he denied the mid-tier 1 tower with the Forge Spirit, which was impressive as there were 3 heroes pushing into it. So that's pretty cool coming out from Weehaw.
And meanwhile, Moo just gets a free tier 2 in the bottom lane. It's like they've given up on the Broodmother, dude.
Well,
he's farming.
It's what you have to do until you get that Ags, I think, for 747, or like just another way to clear out these Broodlings. And of course, Patzel's just not going to be able to do that because he doesn't have any, like, there's no splash damage, sadly. He's not like a DK with Metamorphosis. He's not going to go for Battle Fury, which is, it's a bit sad because sometimes you want to see crazy item builds and then flame the shit out of them, but that's just not going to be the case this game. And
yeah, I mean, Void Boy's trying to group up in the top lane. Potom working on the Aghanims, point boosters up, but still a little ways off.
It's just another component too on the career. No, I guess not, but
no, I don't think so, not yet. Just 700 gold up. Just some tower trading going on. Misery pressuring mid. Echo Stomp actually going to be off the mark as they TP back towards the mid. It's 747 in the front line. If he hits an arrow here, they'll get a kill, but it's a roar into Sunstrike. Going to be a heal there, and he'll survive. Misery not going to be so lucky. A stray arrow does clip Weehaw.
Nice arrow.
Echo Stomp to follow up if they have any more damage.
They need one. Oh, he has no mana for Purifying Flames. They just have to hit him.
And maybe sets it up.
I think he's just dead. He has no Ghost Walk. Wow. That's 2 supports like with little to no mana, and all they really had was a Stomp. And Snaking looking top resolution. Snaking, by the way, is Chronosphere. Crystal Nova comes out. Sox is looking to stop Snaking. So there's going to be another Frostbite. Time dilation. Sox might have gotten himself in trouble. Another TP is going to come in. It's going to be for the Beastmaster. Now Snaking kind of has to back up. Time walk off cooldown. And his flag that is being built is not completed yet. And he will be able to continue on towards that completion. By the way, what's Misery done? He's currently sitting at level 7. He's got 47 last hits. He almost has his full Necro 1. Okay, I mean, it's just done an okay job. It's definitely not like the fastest farm that you've seen in the world. You know, because he was aggressive, or he got some aggressive plays happening against him.
Yeah, I would say, in fact, this has been a slower than usual Beastmaster game. You look at the overall net worth, he is low for the chords. He's actually at the very bottom of the pack. Wow. And, I mean, that is because he is position 4. It's a greedier lineup. We'll see Resolution up top, Chrono into Arrow. This should be a dead Slark. Nice. They've gotten more than enough damage. It's actually Clairvoyance that gets credit for that kill. Nice setup there. We're starting to feel the presence of that Elder Titan, but you know, with a greedy lineup like this, I think it's somewhat expected. They put a lot of emphasis on pressuring Misery, so done a poor job, but not one of these games where the Beastmaster was able to just get a fast level 6, come out of the jungle, and find a kill. He's had to play much more defensive, but it came at a cost. I mean, look at Moo. He's more than made up for it. He's got himself the Saber already. He is so scary right now. I mean, Void Boys literally have to ignore him because this hero can easily solo almost anyone on their team at this point, I think.
And if Moo continues to get the room that he's been given, he If they're not careful and they don't keep this lane push out, then they will lose a 2-3 and maybe even a set of Brax. But now, Moonlight will go. 747 is going to try to chase the Weehaw, who I think might have scouted something out. He's heading back, and no, he hasn't scouted anything out at all. This is going to get caught out. Arrow misses. The Echo Stomp's there. The Sentry will finally get dropped down. He almost was able to escape that gank. If that Stomp misses, then he's able to just walk out. No problems whatsoever. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And Weehaw's Invoker's kind of getting that 747 treatment we saw last game. And now Roar not coming top lane. His misery set up for it, but was without any backup help. No Sunstrike, of course, which of course would have done probably the damage. So yeah, this is exactly what I think has happened to 7-4's last game. Is the Midas into Boots into almost the drum, and it's at that point again, Andrew, it's that same period.
Yeah. Invoker definitely feeling the hurt. He's died 4 times. That is pretty darn significant. You look at the gold graph, and DC aren't really able to pull ahead. It's actually completely zeroed out, which I think is great news for Void Boys. Mirana hasn't really come online yet. You know, she's sort of just a regular hero until the Aghanims gets online, and then she can start to farm very quickly and really contribute a lot of damage to these team fights. So 747, I mean, you're pretty happy if your Mirana's just passive and then starts coming online when you get the Ags. She's 3-0-4. This is a really good start for the Priestess of the Moon.
Yeah, she's very close to Rax 2, 600 gold away. I mean, they just need 3 to 4 more jungle camps, hard jungle camps to make this game that much easier. And then you deal with Moo. Then you are able to find that hero and bring him down. And not to mention Patzel's quietly having a very strong game, but he's about to get potentially found by Resolution.
Dude, they're going to sandwich him here in the mid lane. Slark with a Shadow Blade going to rotate in. A Primal Roar. Sunstrike follow-up. Snake King's here. There's the Chrono, but Resolution's on the outside of it. Terrorblade gets healed up by Juan. It's DC that get turned on. Beastmaster and Brood fall quickly. Terrorblade does end up going down. Snake King stands his ground against the Crystal Maiden. Able to find a kill there. It's a 1-for-3. DC on the back foot. We might just need to get the hell out of Dodge. Echo Stomp will connect. He right next to a Sentry.
Nice Forge Spirit.
Beautifully done. Sunstrike will come through, but it just doesn't matter. Fortune's End slows him down, and 1-for-4. Void Boys handily take the fight. 15-7. They're starting to take some presence in this game. It's about a 2K net worth swing. Great news for the radio.
The only big issue there for Void Boys, if you can call it a big issue, is they did lose the Terrorblade at the beginning into that fight. They got off the False Promise, and maybe not even the beginning. I think they got a kill or two before he went down, which is very important for him. And he's still top of the net worth, and now the Mirana, as we've talked about time and time again, it now has that Aghanim Scepter. So DC, I think they lost 4 there. Was Moo the only one that survived, or did he fall too? I can't quite remember what happened after that fight.
I think it was the Slark
he did die,
actually.
Yeah, Moo did go down. I think you're right about that. I think the Slark...
Slark was able to get away. Yeah, 747 finds him. That's the Aghanim Scepter reveal, so huge amount of burst damage. Didn't really seem like the Slark was quite ready for it. And yeah, we see a big lead now, about 3K net worth in favor of Void Boys. It was a pretty aggressive fight, though. You have to admit, DC diving past the Tier 1 tower. They didn't really have to take a fight like that, especially when the Void has Chronosphere. It's so easy for him to TP in and just completely break up that engagement. I think definitely some hyper-aggression.
Yeah, DC getting ahead of themselves for now, and their comeback mechanics are really... Slark doesn't have a Midas. He kind of has to just find kills and farm. And the Invoker has a Midas, luckily, but he just finished up his drum, so he's pretty far behind. And the Broodmother has gotten really all the outer towers that he can get at this stage of the game. I mean, he got the Tier 1 bottom, the Tier 2 bottom. And so the next option for them as he gets aired in the Roche Pit is to take Roshan, but it seems as if Void Boys aren't going to let up the pressure. And I think this is a dangerous timing window here for DC. Like, they just aren't farmed enough yet to really start taking these fights, especially against Metamorphosis and Snake King's Chronosphere.
Yeah.
So you have to be very, very careful with how you approach these next couple of minutes for DC. I like the idea to go for Roche. They have pretty good vision, all things considered, around the Roche Pit. But it's just they're not completely safe yet. Oh, Resolution, they're setting up for a Shadow Amulet Chronosphere. They're going to find it. Resolution's going to get caught. They need more. They need Astral. They need to stop. They'll find that. They have enough damage to the Earth Splitter. They're going to wait so that he doesn't take any auto attack damage. And they give the kill to Clairvoyance. What a cool play. Shadow Amulet into a Chronosphere coming out. And they find Resolution, who had just respawned.
That was pretty clutch. You really don't see Shadow Amulet used kind of casually like that. especially on a faceless Void. Shadow Blade Void is not something I'm accustomed to seeing, but it does kind of fit the style. You know, we see the offlane Void go Vlad's Blink pretty occasionally, and there are some advantages to the Shadow Blade. Let's get in that back line and still have a way to disengage. 747 walks into the pit, Primal Roar, follow-up Sunstrike, pushes him back as Roche falls. The DC arrow, one of the neutrals, hits one of the spiders rather. And Weehaw will be the happy new carrier of this Aegis of the Immortal. So a step in the right direction for DC. That'll help plateau things a little bit and maybe dissuade Void Boys from trying to force a fight, at least for the next 5 minutes.
I mean, Void Boys still have a small net with advantage at 18 minutes, and 3,000 is not bad, don't get me wrong, but DC continue to get farm, at least from Moo, who's now building into that BKB, which is interesting because you think about, there's so many different builds for Broodmother, but he's clearly going for something that he can get away with a bit more aggression in split pushing, or he can be involved in team fights, which I think at this point is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
With all the Spiderlings, so we'll see where they head.
Patsoul really coming online though, Maud. He's got the Dragon Lance now right into Manta style, and also a Yule's Scepter on this Elder Titan. One of the benefits of... Wow, he's 5-0 and 6 as well. His ET hasn't even died yet.
Points is showing that, hey, I can play this hero, and I can play it damn well. The last play they made with that Chronosphere into like not auto-attacking the Echo Stomp so you can get the Earth Splitter off was a really cool play. And it's just like that's the presence of mind Void Boys have right now. They have the chemistry. They're showing that, yeah, we didn't make it to TI6. We couldn't get up to wildcard spot. But we're going to show you that we kick a game off DC, even though we couldn't do it on the grandest stage.
Yeah. Hey, just the fact that this roaming Elder Titan is just about equally farmed to the dedicated jungle Beastmaster, that really says something. Beastmaster, as we talked about, is really notorious for his farming speed on this patch. It's insane to see that. Up top, 747 just destroys the Slark. He's gone back for a Dragon Lance now. Interesting choice.
I wish I saw that kill because
I mean, I caught like the second half of it, but the Starstorm is just ridiculous when it's in a one-on-one scenario like that. The burst damage you can put out against a Slark like this is just ridiculous. He's going to go into Echo Saber, and you look at his build right now, he's pretty squishy. If you connect with an arrow, it's a guaranteed kill every time, I think.
Yeah, that arrow is dangerous. Dangerous business. Dragonlance, 1,800 gold on top of that. It felt like he just bought that Aghanim and then he has a Dragonlance on top of that, and then 1,800 gold. And
yeah, that's ridiculous.
He's got the Shadow Blade, Moonlight Shadow. Weehaw is in trouble. Chrono is going to come out. They need detection. The Astral's on top there. They have plenty of damage, and that's the Aegis gone. Where were they getting vision from? I wonder. Roar's going to come up. Snakey's caught. They get off the beautiful freezing field, but there's the false promise, and Snakey will stay alive for the time being. Earth Splitter to zone out the rest of DC. Good Yule Scepter up under resolution, but there's the spawn Spiderlings, which will bring down Snakey. It's time for retreat. DC cannot, or rather Void Boys cannot afford to let too much go here. Chuan might be the next to fall. They might lose 3 here if they're not careful. Clairvoyant's very speedy with the Yule Scepter.
Yeah,
all right, pretty good fight for DC.
There's the Glyph. It should still be a tier 1 tower for DC. This is the big objective here. It really opens up the map for the Broodmother. Moo taking a lot of damage. The Starstorm's bringing him down, but he will survive. Now the pressure into the tower comes. Finished off by the Broodmother Spider Baby. 747 caught by the Frostbite. Follow-up pounce from Resolution, but the return damage is huge. So much from 747. Now the Echo Stomp. Patsoul in meta brings down the CM. Moo helps set up a kill on the Mirana and does actually get credit for it. Now the retreat begins. TP home from Weehaw. He makes it. Moo gonna make it as well. DC get out of dodge, and ultimately they get what they came for. It is a 2 for 3, a big net worth gain for them, and of course they get that tier 1 tower to boot. Sign of life for Digital Chaos, but they're going to need a few more of those to really take control of this game.
Well, that's I mean, you look at the net worth graph, though. It was so close at that point. It was 3,000 with advantage, and then that fight just pretty much brings it back to even. And they even had to pop Metamorphosis thinking that fight was going to go well for Void Boys. Instead, they don't even get this tier 2 tower off of it. So this is what I was saying. When they took that fight, they got that Chronosphere down and they got that kill, the Aegis. And then all of a sudden they just lose staking. I was like, they need it back because they lose too much there. Yeah. And it's exactly what happens. I mean, you're now down to a net worth, I guess, evenness, neutrality, whatever word. I'm like throwing out verbal diarrhea at this point because of
evenness.
Because of how this game is at this point. It's actually like
Yeah, I inhaled my tea by accident when that Invoker got chronoed, and I'm still recovering here.
Yeah.
The one true king taking me down. See a kill on the Elder Titan. Finally, that unstoppable streak ended, and it does go to the Invoker. But Snake King, speak of the devil, in he comes. Chronosphere used just for misery.
He's not doing any damage.
Ambitious as hell. Snake King, I know you're godly, but that was not happening.
He's like
Misery
really
just
missing the
shrugs
Elder
it
Titan
off.
there. Like when the Elder Titan's not there, and there's no natural order, he's like, wow, I actually just don't do any damage.
Yeah, Resolution looking for vengeance on 747.
He
He
has no
pops the
TP
Moonlight
either.
Shadow.
They have a
Got
sentry.
one of the sentry wards, but he pounces out of it, or leap rather. Resolution trying to get in to
my.
close the gap. Another sentry used. He
Oh,
gets off one
Jesus.
more auto
Don't die
attack, and they
in
get it.
true.
3 sentry wards. They get the kill.
Worth it.
My God, yeah, it absolutely is. That Mirana's been picking on Slark in the jungle all game, and finally, it's a kill of his own. Snake
they're
King, though, he's
baiting
on his way
Soxa?
up. There are sentry wards down here. Snake King
What?
misses the time walk
What?
down. Oh no, Snake King, not like this. Oh my
God.
good gracious. Why in God's name did that happen?
Snaky? Man.
Radiant's bottom tower
All
It's like
right.
one of those, like, that's the unfortunate thing about Snaky. If you've watched his play since way back in the day with Dignitas at TI3, you know that Snaky is prone to making big critical mistakes, including such things as not pressing BKB, not pushing at the right time, pushing too hard like he did in the last game. It's another one of those big mistakes where he TP'd up, he thought they were going to turn things around, and now Resolution really wants Schwan. You saw Clairvoyance there as well. The
Jeez.
Dark Pact will come out, and that'll be the end of whatever engagement that was.
That
But
might have been the most aggressive, just single auto attack I've ever seen. He just dives past the tier 2 tower, pokes it once, and goes, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. And then
Yeah.
just immediately retreats.
Radiant structure.
Still asserting his dominance, you know.
Yeah, this is my tier 2 tower. This is my map. This is DC's Resolution, who is now starting to get up there. I mean, he's still, I think in terms of the carries and the cores, he's still going by the wayside right now.
All
But
right,
this
I
is
wanna-
exactly what I talked about with the Invoker. He's got a negative. It's exactly what happened with 747 last game, except he just couldn't quite get there.
Yeah.
If he actually, he's got the bots now. He is just about ready to fight. He has max levels of Invoke, so it's 2-second cooldown. God, are you still dying? Are you okay, bud?
No, I'm watching Snake King die again, and it was just, you know, that might have been one of the better Soylent instant replays we've had. I don't know if you'd realize how short that time walk is. He was like right here,
do.
and he went like right here. Just it was so greedy. I can't believe he undershot it so much. Snake King, though, speaking of the devil, gets off the chrono to break up the fight, sets it up on Misery.
Oh, my.
Out comes Earth Splitter and completely redeeming himself after that small play up top. Get a kill on 2 cores for DC, and now Void Boys will try to push up the mid. That's what's so scary about this team lineup. You catch your chrono on just a couple heroes, and at this point, the Earth Splitter does serious damage.
I mean, here it is. Here's the difference maker. With it's pretty much you look at one fight with the Elder Titan, one fight without the Elder Titan, and that's it. That's the difference maker. Without the Elder Titan, you are missing out on a lot. Not just natural order, but as you've talked about, Earth Splitter,
Yep.
Astral, the stomp is too much.
Natural Order, the Fresh Maker, VB looking to siege the high ground. But Weeha starting to transition into some Quas Wex here. Snake King goes in hard, but Arrow connects on Wee. It's a 3-second stun. Soxa gets destroyed by the TB, actually lives. Now BKB's popped, dies to the damage over time. as
Moo's
Moo
dead.
goes in deep.
BKB
Deep.
down, no buyback. Luckily for DC, that's going to be the end of the push from Void Boys. But that's just a BKB death, and he doesn't even kill that poor Oracle. I mean, Schwann's still alive throughout the end of that engagement. And
Another costly fight for DC, though. I mean,
Yeah.
they do hold, but ouch.
I mean, I don't. This is the strangest game. It's so close at 27 minutes in, and you
Look at the gold graph.
Yeah,
My
it's,
God.
that is a peak and a valley. It's well, it's not even really a peak. It's more of a prolonged plateau. I don't know.
Sure is. It's more of a trench down at the bottom there. It's like
Yeah.
DC was in the lead, and then they threw it all away. Void Boys recover that lost footing. Terrorblade, that was his 10-second BKB debut in that last fight, and he's
Well, I
already
think-
got another 3K gold, so he's
I
feeling
think that
pretty
was
good.
also the 10-second BKB debut for Moo. Just the unfortunate thing is that when you're against the Terrorblade, so you
Yeah.
do the math as to how that's going to work out. And by the way, this is a build that Terrorblade, it's just like the natural build in like almost any game. Dragonlance, Mantis Style, BKB. Hold that thought. Snake King caught out. Oh my god, not again.
Wow. You blink and you'll miss it. He died fast. Now Moo going in deep with the BKB on.
They have
Earth
gem,
Splitter
I believe. They have
pushes
gem
him
on...
back. Moo.
Did they get out of the gym? Oh,
This is a
7% has it.
precarious situation. Hey, he'll make it out. Now on the backside, Resolution going in deep. He's looking for a target, though. Astral Spirit comes out. Arrow flying through. Split the nines. Not going to connect quite yet. Resolution on the high ground will just back out as Soxa drops the ult. Another scattered fight, but on the backline, Invoker does some pretty decent damage. They lose the Crystal Maiden. Now DC just start to split. Misery goes one way. The rest of the team goes the other. Pardon me, not Misery, Moo. Looks like Moo will be able to live for now. Do they have a gem? Is there any detection down? Yeah, Marana's the one with the gem. Oh, Moo. Yeah, he walks right into it. He learned all too well who the gem carrier was.
That was
a really good fight for DC. They caught Snake King, and then it all just kind of crumbled from there.
That was a sick Oracle fight. Like, he saved himself. He had the false promise beautifully. Like, he had a Fate's Edict right before he was going to die from the Invoker. And then he Fate's Edict himself, and he was like, I'm fine. All right, let's keep fighting, guys. They don't even need Snake King. I'm sure they'd like to have him in a fight, but, like, clearly, fight without him 100%. Like, he didn't get a chrono. He didn't get a single right-click off. He just died. And that still goes well. And in fact, he might even find Rezo and Misery to set his Shadow Blade up. I think he saw them there. He knows they were in that vicinity. There's an Observer Ward, in fact. They know exactly where Misery is right now. He's going to Shadow Blade up and again, look for a kill here, and he's probably going to cut off Misery at his path of retreat.
I mean, Misery does have sentries down in a blink, but he can't use it fast enough. Snake King deploys the chrono and sets a kill on one Misery.
And Roche is up. There's no Beastmaster for 52 now. The Sunstrike will come through, do some nice damage to Snakey, but this, if you look at the positioning coming up from DC, there's a couple of cures that are in the well, and Resolution does not have a TP scroll. I don't know how committed they are to actually contesting this, Andrew. As Snakey jumps out with a time dilation,
I mean,
tornado AFG.
Without a chrono, this is kind of tempting for DC. I see why they want to go in here. With a chrono sphere up, I think there's no way you really contest this, but they can at least try and delay. Resolution goes right in onto Clairvoyance, pulls him out of the pit. Roche still standing at about 20% HP, going down pretty quickly, still 15 seconds until the Beastmaster comes up. Another Sunstrike into the pit, this time it hits Roche. Resolution goes in, he's looking for an Aegis Snatch, but can he get it off? Roche dies to the Radiant, but snatched by the Slark. He'll fall, but he baits out an Earth Splitter, and it's honestly a pretty good play. Soxa on the high ground gets off great Freezing Field, doing some good peripheral damage, but Slark gets destroyed as he comes back. Moo may suffer a similar fate. He's trying to make it away, can't get to the high ground. He will go invisible just in time. They've got a gem, but it's on the backside. Speaking of the backside, it's Misery that comes flying on in. Primal Roar sets up the kill onto Marana. Pat Soul with the BKB turns and tries to fight. DC still hanging on for now. It's another one of these long, chaotic fights. And now on the backside, Moo finally gets caught out as he walks into a sentry. Now back the other way, Pat Soul frozen by the CM there. Wee sets up the kill, and it's another even exchange. Snake King trying to set up onto Wee. He'll be forced to time walk away. The Spirit, Echo Stomp on two. Maybe they can turn. No, it's just a full retreat from the Void Boys. Drag Boys. Oh my god, they catch him with the Frostbite. Sunstrike not going to be needed. Snake King trying to find the kill. He gets it with his first auto attack.
And they already TP'd out with Weehaw. He went back to the well. So it's Snake King versus Misery. Snake King, does he have time on? No, he can't get it off in time. And now the gems dropped on the deck. Who's going to get the courier there first? A race. It is a race of the couriers. Or is it just going to be Rezo who walks up? And...
He's smoked up with a blink. Schwan says, hey, that's my gem, baby.
Oh my god, Schwan. TP out, he doesn't have it. Oh my god, is he gonna live? Rezo's not gonna get there in time. He's gonna be like, where's the gem? Oh my god, the gem's not here. Schwan, Grand Theft just Grand Theft 2 really is what it comes down to.
No, I think that counts as Grand Theft Larceny. That is pretty. I like the way he used the smoke there. That's pretty good. Another ridiculous team fight though. You watch that whole exchange and you kind of just scratch your head and say, who really
who won?
Came out ahead there?
Can you tell me, Andrew? Because I don't have any clue.
No, not really. It seemed like DC was winning, but then the same kind of thing happens. The Brood's able to pop somebody at the beginning, Insatiable Hunger wears off, doesn't have a BKB, and then Moose spent the second half of that fight just kind of running around trying to make space. The Marana and the Terrorblade got popped, so Void Boys did lose most of their cores, but I think DC lost more heroes. And it's like Void Boys got the last hit on Roche, so they get all that yummy gold, but DC snatched the Aegis, and then Slark died immediately after coming back to life after the Aegis. Feels like sort of a wash overall. Void Boys moved back into the lead, and DC plateau it, at least for now. It's about a 2k net worth difference. So either way, this game is still very even in terms of farm, though. Gotti up on the Terror Blade. He is getting close to that territory.
I just feel like Slark doesn't have enough. Like, he's been sitting on Shadow Blade Echo Saber for the past 10 to 15 minutes, I think. Whereas the Terror Blade has consistently been progressing throughout this entire game. And you just, as Resolution, yes, you're very good against Agi carries, especially late game. But Patzel now with the Scotty done, he's so tanky. He's got 29 armor. He's got plenty of damage. He's got plenty of range. He has illusions to split up the map. Patzel is not necessarily unkillable, especially with Sunder. It's difficult, but this is going to be a very tough mid to late game for DC until Rezo can find a good fight, a good engagement. You're going to have to see Weehaw do a lot of work on his own here in the next couple of minutes, and I don't know if he's going to be able to do it on his own, to be honest.
Maybe this BKB on Resolution is going to do it. That's going to be the item he'll grab next, and he's very close. Really just one creep kill away. Void Boys get a free tier 2 in the top lane. Only one outer tower remains for Digital Chaos. Will be the tier 2 down bottom. Mirana, what is that going to be? Maybe a Lincoln's coming in for her? Uh-oh, Chronosphere. On the Crystal Maiden, that'll be a nice easy kill.
That's another one blinking. You missed it. I missed it as you called it out, but that's just him, I think, trying to ward and be aggressive and then dying for it. So it's a bit unfortunate.
Interesting the Potom didn't go for a Blink Dagger. It is going to be Lincoln, the recipe now, but she just went BKB Lincoln, so a much more defensive transition here from 747.
I'm okay with it. You have really good initiation from the Registry team, so you don't necessarily need that Blink Dagger for them. Because you have, like, Yules to set something up for the Elder Titan, you have a Blinking from the Oracle for Fortune's End. You're a very, very speedy team, then, of course, not to mention Snaking, who I thought would have gotten a Blink Dagger as well, but right now he's focusing on a Manta style. And if he goes Manta Diffusal for Snaking, then this game gets even harder, because that's just a really solid build that we see a lot of on Faceless Voids.
I mean, the Shadow Blade is kind of in lieu of the Blink Dagger, and in this instance, it does give him a little bit of extra damage, a little extra attack speed, so it will synergize with this Manta Diffusal build that it seems like he's moving into, and he actually does have the gold for the Manta. Weehaw charging in, Tornado EMP to start off the fight. It's Snake King in the front lines, but again, they know he doesn't have a Chrono. He loses his mana, now gets Primal Roared, but False Promise comes out, Resolution, BKB on, taking huge damage, has to go into the Shadow Dance straight away. Patzel left untouched. The Void will not live through the False Promise. It is a quick 1-0. Good start for DC, but the Slark has already used his BKB as well as his ult and might be a little bit intimidated to fight at this point. Still a lot of time left on the Metamorphosis. BB might continue to press the issue here. Perhaps not. Moo deep again. Has to pop the BKB to live. Makes a little bit of space. Teammates on the way in. They'll use the Moonlight Shadow. Is this a fake back here for the Void Boys? Oh, it's a setup onto the Invoker at the very least. Manages to sidestep the arrow, gets off the Ghost Walk. Maybe he can find a spot to TP out, or maybe not.
That was awkward. What was we doing there?
I have no idea.
Well,
it seemed like he wanted to either go to the side shop or run in and try to save the Broodmother, but either way, ambitious.
Brood walks out and moves like, thanks, dude, but I'm good.
Yeah. He doesn't have a buyback either.
No, that's really bad. Like, if they get another kill here within these next 60 seconds, Void Boys are in a good... I mean, I think if you're Void Boys, I think you just go for this push right now. I think you really do. Patzel's going to try to TP out, but there's the Frostbite. So split pushing mid lane is Resolution, and they get the Courier on top, which did deliver the Lincoln Sphere, so it does get the item there in time, but they already stopped one TP for Patzel. You can see Resolution was putting pressure on mid, but he's actually leaving now. BKB, they're going to turn this. Misery going to get caught. Misery is destroyed by Patzel. Brings him down with a couple of quick chops, and now next in line is Saksa. And he does blink out in time as the Astral is there. Moo has to pop his BKB, tries to TP away Fortune's End. Will not stop him. And now they're just Ron blinks and looking for whatever, Purifying Flame or something. I'm not sure what was there, but he couldn't find the TP cancel, so...
not good for DC, kind of by definition, is they do lose their Beastmaster in the end, but all things considered, they delay the push, they force out a couple BKBs. You mentioned they get the courier and they get that tier 2 tower mid. They still find some objectives and they help break up the push, which is really important. BB will start to move in towards the base now, but a couple of BKBs still on cooldown. Miranas for about 30 seconds and the Terrorblade for about 25 seconds as well. Do have a Chronosphere up, Beastmaster up in 20, tier 3 taking a lot of damage. Now they will have to take a straight up fight, and this is do or die. They need to be so careful of this Chronosphere from the Faceless Void here. Tier 3 tower down. They don't have a glyph. Master up in 10. What do they do here, Mott? It's go time.
I think they might just use their melee racks.
Yep, they sure do. Initiated on BKB. There's the Chrono. Catches on 2. Sets up onto the CM as well as the Slark. Resolution can't do anything. It's a pretty convincing fight for Void Boys. Starting to look like this could be their game.
That's if you have a Invincible Spirit there. You swap out the Slark, he's able to survive another day with Chrono down, he can start doing work, but again, Resolution just too underfarmed at this point. Patzel's Metamorphosis is out of mana, so luckily though, at level 3 ultimate, no mana required for Sunder. However, Snaky getting roared up, Necro units bring him down instantly. Buyback coming in from Resolution. They want to try to find a fight here. It's easier said than done as Weeha is on the hunt, looking for Patzel. Again, no mana to work with. He's got Sunder and he's going to have to use it here. Good air onto Moo to stop him from fighting. There's the stomp as well. Patzel gets up the Sunder onto Weeha to stay fresh and fighting. Resolution has to pop the Shadow Dance, and Patzel getting kited, slowed down and brought down to his knees. And in the end, his face is in the dirt, dead. I see will take a fall, but they've already secured at least melee racks down bottom and a buyback out of the Slark, who is so far behind at this point that it just might be too much, Andrew.
Yeah, it's another decent net worth swing for DC. They're barely hanging on, though. The sentiment that you make is true. Objective has been claimed. Even the tier 3 tower mid goes down to about half health. How does this Slark dream to recover at this point? You look at the overall net worth, he's at about 13k. The Terrorblade is at 22. That's the disparity right now. Even this Elder Titan, he now has a full Shiva's Guard to go with his Yule Scepter Force Staff. Very mobile, hard to lock down, and now has a whole bout of utility to bring out onto these team fights. I feel like DC need to pull something out of the cook one. They need to split push. They need to force this into some kind of a weird decision-making split push scenario. Like, I don't think they can just win a straight-up fight anymore. It's just too easy for VB to drop the Chrono, follow up with the Earth Splitter, and have the Terrorblade clean up with the Mirana doing damage in between. I mean, he's got a full Crystallis now, soon to be Daedalus. Another Lincoln Sphere out for the Radiant, this time on Snake King. Doesn't go for Manta style, just finding more ways to deal with the setup from the Beastmaster with the Primal Roar. This is tough for DC, man. This is really hard.
Yeah, it definitely is. I do like what they're doing now, though. They're finally starting to take back some map control, and of course with Roche up as well, Moo is now sitting in the pit, and that's one way you're going to get back into it. Snaky and Resolution going toe-to-toe. There is Chronosphere. Resolution caught mid-pounce, and here comes Schwan as well. Rezo might have just killed himself. He doesn't have buyback. The Shadow Dance comes through, and Wee was just barely there. With Claire chasing him down with the Shiva's Guard, has to pop the BKB, and Rezo is still in loads of trouble. Can they get a bash? There's the Shadow Dance, and they just don't have the vision, unfortunately. I don't think they had a gem on them at that point in time. 747 was not nearby. And there is the split push from DC coming to the top lane.
Yeah, definitely not the way you want to use your 8-second BKB, that's for sure. He does live, but it's kind of a close call. Terrorblade Illusion almost gets taken out by the Frostbite down bottom, kind of just showing how annoying these illusions are, even without a Radiance or anything like that. They can just push out the lanes, kind of keep things static, and in general make the life of Void Boys a bit easier. Speaking of Void Boys, they're going to move right into the Roche pit. 747 TPs into the Spirit, so it is a full 5-man squad for both teams. It's been completely scattered out by DC. The Tornado EMP has flown through. This is Roche 3, Aegis Cheese ripe for the taking, and a fresh Assault Cuirass up on the Broodmother. Presence of DC will push back Void Boys, at least for now. They smoke up on the high ground and look for the window to initiate here. Next item on Slark out, it's the Basher. So Resolution not out of this game yet, Mott. Still a chance that, I think one good team fight, if Resolution survives, can clean house, DC could still turn this one around.
I mean, that's the good news, is that he's so far behind that these bounties are huge for him in particular. And the game is close enough that, like you said, one good team fight and it just swings it. I mean, because it's not necessarily just Resolution 2, it's also Moo. And it's also especially Weehad getting a lot of this farm. But it looks like they've committed to their decision for now. Or have they? EMP tornado coming through, definitely.
Oh my God,
is going to get false promise just at the end, and Rezo, he is going to take a lot of damage, able to get the Shadow Dance off in time, but everybody TPing back home. They might just have to let this rush go to DC for now as they have to deal with top lane misery. Roar's up. Now Clairvoyance, there's the Moonlight Shadow coming up, but they have the vision from the Necro Warrior. Meanwhile, they're fighting over the Roach Pit. Nobody's dropped just yet, although it looks like Shran did fall in the end as he was trying to TP home. Air's going to come in, and it's going to miss on everybody from DC. The fight has split between two different sections of the map, and nobody's died. Pat's still Metamorphosis, looking for Moo. He pops the BKB, going to work with the Scotty. Can't find anybody, and there's that Aegis now picked up finally. Slark has some breathing room here as it's been so close. Misery continue to push you top, and now the freezing kill. Patzel can't get up the center. Yes, he can. In time, barely gets the kill on Soxa, but now Patzel, the slowed up Cold Snap, has to make a conjure image. Everything Blast comes through, and they will lose said Terrorblade. Leap point from 747. He'll try to TP up there. The tornado in time. Sunstrike on top. 747 avoids it, but does get killed, and Rezo finds himself a double in the process, as he is, of course, now with that Aegis. Like you said, it takes one good fight, and Rezo gets 1,000 gold just from that fight alone. Andrew.
That was an absolutely ridiculous team fight. DC, by far the big breadwinners out of that. They get the Roche, they get the Aegis, and they get huge pickoffs to boot. Terraplade and Mirana in the grave, both of them with buybacks, but now they're going to jump on the Snake King. They break the Lincolns. He's going to go down quickly, able to time walk to the high ground. Resolution with the BKB on, goes for Barracks.
Oh my God.
Backdoor protection. They can't go for objectives quite yet. Now the buyback from Terrorblade. It will be repelled.
If Snake King dies there, he has no buyback, and then the game might just end. And Rezo's looking for Claire. He's in trouble. He doesn't have buyback, or no, he does. Definitely last false promise roar. They're throwing everything at him. The air splitter comes out, will do some nice damage, but not nearly enough. Rezo going toe-to-toe with Patzel. Has to pop the Shadow Dance. Still has that Aegis, mind you. And again, Snake King, he's got no...
Oh, the bash!
Gets bashed up, and he's dead for 80. Are they just going to lose off the back of this fight? I can't even believe it.
Oh, my God. All the buybacks coming now, but Terrorblade's down. He's out of the game for 90 seconds. It's DC all the way. BKB popped by 747, but he's relegated to the well. They're actually going to do this. 3 down for a minute without buyback. All 5 alive on DC. It's a ridiculous net worth swing of about 6K gold. Look at that gold graph. It is a nosedive in favor of Digital Chaos from 7,500 deficit to 10K lead. In the blink of an eye, they have completely broken this game open. 2 lanes of Barracks, and I think it's over. I think they just straight up won.
They actually just did. No Terrorblade for 60, no buyback for 6 minutes. Moo has cheese still. His BKB is back up at 10 Weehaw. He's got all of his abilities probably refreshed, ready to go with his Octarine. The cheese is popped, the Glyph will go, and Resolution looking for more blood. He'll find 747, the puts is up, the leap not away in time. And Rezo's dominating. All 5 will fall momentarily. The Sunstrike hits. He uses himself just narrowly in time, and he will survive. But everyone from DC, healthy, fighting fit, Megas comes out. All 5 with buyback. I cannot believe it. I cannot believe DC just won that game off of one bad Roche engagement that turns into death after death after death after death.
I mean, the ridiculous part about it isn't that DC won, it's just the fashion that they did it. They were never so far behind that they were completely out of this game, but Void Boys were at a pretty good spot. I mean, now it was literally like almost a 10K lead to a 20K swing after so many kills back and forth. It was just a great team fight setup with Void Boys losing too many cores off the back of that Roche fight. The heat, and now they're forced to get out of the kitchen. D take it 2-0 and drop them down to the lower bracket.
That's heartbreaking. Ooh. That is the most heartbreaking way to lose a game that you will ever see. Now, by no means were Void Boys ever in complete control of this game. And by no means were they ever, going to win outright. But they felt so good, they looked so good at that point in time that it just felt as if all they had to do was secure Aegis, not throw too much.